All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crypto Wolf, and first off, I just wanted to say 100 subscribers. That's awesome. I never expected that it was going to happen like relatively this fast, so that's super cool. I'm glad that people are liking the market cipher stuff. I hope it's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, by all means, down in the comments. But getting into this one, I wanted to talk about a video that I saw somebody else do today that was very fitting for the times lately. And as you can see by our little intro screen here, we've got King Leonidas, or Leonidas, however you want to pronounce it. But a little Molon Labe over there. If you don't know what that means, it was at the Battle of Thermopylae at the Hot Gates, where the King Xerxes and the Great Persian army came once again to Greece and was telling him, we outnumber you like a bajillion to, well, 300. And it'd be in your best interest just to lay down your arms and we'll let you live. After a while, he even said you can be a general and be warlord of all Greece and this and that. It was in the movie, but granted, I've actually read the books, and they took surprisingly a lot, into the graphic novel and the movie from the best records that we have of the time, which, take that with a grain of salt. But Molon Labe means come and take it, or technically it was come and take them. But we got our little quote here: sweetest of all is liberty. This we have chosen, and this we pay for. And I know I probably speak for a lot of my other wolves out there in the crypto space, where we absolutely want freedom and liberty, specifically financial freedom, and that is definitely being tested lately. So everybody's got to hold strong. If anybody steps up to do something good for crypto and specifically privacy and liberty in that regard, give them a shout out. Tell them, hey, you know what? Thank you. We support you. We got your back. Keep doing what you're doing. And that was by Stephen Pressfield from the book Gates of Fire. I highly recommend it. It is supposedly the best account kind of turned semi-fictional story about that particular time period. And it is definitely different from the movie. Obviously, there's a lot more in it. It's told from the perspective of this slave kid who keeps getting like picked up by certain people and ends up, being around for these battles. And he got trained into the army, which was like a really high honor that slaves just didn't usually get. But anyways, really great book. But looking over here at the Bitcoin chart, you can see we are pumping. Pump the jam. Look at that. See them candles going. It was kind of interesting down here. I'd happened to look for a minute, and you saw these VWAPs just getting this incrementally lower little trend going here. And I was like, all right, where are we going to go from here? Money flow was looking pretty good, but I was like, are we going to continue this to the downside? As you can see, we jumped back up and the price went right with it. And from our last video, you can see we have our newer updated Gann square. And we were kind of coming off around this area, peaked up, pulled back a little bit after pulling out of there, and then just took off straight up. Came close to here for a minute, broke right through. Now it looks like we might be pulling back a little off of this one, 9 10 9. But we've been in this DBSI territory for a little while, and there's definitely been the big green money flow, which one flow to rule them all. 8 9 9 10 9. So I wouldn't count it out just yet. I mean, even the little red diamonds we've been getting, it's just been blowing right through them. Just little sideways on our way up, just oscillating, but it was very nice, very nice. And so the big question now is, how long is it going to last? And, are we Are we just pulling back and continuing? You know, what's the deal here? Where does it look like we're going? And if you want to find that, you got to go up in time. So not back in time, but up in time. Over to the 12-minute, you know, it's looking basically the same, a little stronger on these DBSI numbers. VWAP, still a little bit more time above the zero line. So that bodes well for maybe a little more continuation. RSI staying nice and tight. I mean, look at this. Like, you know, it had a little bit of a spread, came together, you know, started pumping a little bit here, didn't take the pullback, you know, for the first time, you know, all day. And then got a little bit more spread right here where we got a little sideways, but started coming back together as we went up. And these were almost non-existent little pulls. I mean, we had like, you know, that flicking back and forth with the VWAP over the zero line where you could see went below, came back, went below, and then came back. And man, as soon as we came back and broke out of that little VWAP trend line right there, I mean, it was like watching a breakout on the chart. Very interesting. You know, just to see how some of these indicators behave very much just like the price action does. You know, when you break out of a little pattern, I mean, I guess you could call this a little pattern. So that was pretty cool. And we're still heading up over here, but let's jump up a little bit. Let's see how the future is looking. So over on the 20-minute, you know, obviously this momentum wave getting big up top. I'm not sure I would read too much into the little RSI pulling back down. If anything, it may actually be a good thing because now we got more room to the upside here. More room to grow into them shoes. DBSI, you know, running from a 5 to an 8. Look at this. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 8, 5, 12. Kind of an anomaly right there with that 5. But our bearish was weaker than it was on the previous one. So that is interesting. Oh no, that was a 13. Okay. So we'll see if she can keep it going. About the same on the 24. Let's look at 30. You know, 30 VWAP still looking like it's got some breathing room. Let's see, RSIs. You can see where we had this swing to the up, and I would not necessarily count this out as being the top just yet. You know, still a little more room on the momentum, still a little bit more on the RSI. And this is interesting because it's actually pulling down a little bit, but it's like spreading as it does it. So I don't know if it's trying to consider, you know, what was happening in between here, like a little pullback before it just shot up regardless of whatever the indicators were doing. So, hey, if there's enough bullish action, enough people, you know, buying, going long, I mean, it'll push that price regardless of what anything looks like. See, 40-minute. Again, even better, really. Interesting up here. You know, money flow at its highest point. It's potentially still going up. What we got here? That's just starting to come down a little bit, but again, I mean, still up high. We got, unless it just straight plummets, you know, we got a little bit more time up here above the zero. And again, just to be clear, I mean, that could equate to going sideways, like sideways or up. You know, again, short of it just literally just pulling straight down. Up to the 1 hour. Now, this was interesting. I noticed this before. You know, we're still in the green, still fairly tight. These are actually coming together. You know, 15, 16, 17, 16, still very bullish. I mean, aside from the fact that we're down one, but you know, one point is not something to necessarily define a change. Let's see if we can find an example here. You know, even between the 15 and 10, we were still going up, although not as steeply. That's a bad example because we went down one and that was about the end of that. But yeah, you know, you'll see in these longer, matter of fact, we'll come back down to like a small time frame here. Especially in these longer ones where you see, you know, 2, 5, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 11, 11. But obviously we are still, actually, yeah, you can kind of see this little bit of a pull down where those RSIs were kind of going down. So you can see there was a little bit of a pullback in the middle there that gets drowned out on these higher time frames. Let's see, the 2 hour, how are you looking today? Oh, look at that. Mighty good show. You know, 12, 15, just, you know, hardly even into just 2 green candles, but it is a big one. You know, when you tend to, oh shit, look at that. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Big spread on the RSIs. Big old spread. It's a bigger spread than an all-you-can-eat buffet. And let's see, we're big here during an uptrend. You know, started pulling together a little bit. Not much, but more than we were back here as we were coming down. And then as we started going up, definitely have a big spread. So, you know, I'd be a little weary of trying to do some multi-hour big time swing trades. But again, I mean, if the price is super pumping, it's super pumping, regardless of what the indicator's showing. But that's usually a shorter term, shorter time period event, because, you know, in order to keep pumping like that, it takes some serious money flowing into it. Speaking of money flow, still definitely continuing to the upside. So money is coming back into the asset. Again, we had a nice bullish divergence right there. You know, and as this continues up, you know, we should hopefully be seeing, that's not what it's going to look like, but you know what I mean? We should be seeing some more movement to the upside, you know, short of us just getting like a little scared turtle poking above right there. And we're still going up a little bit too. I'll make this quick and then we'll go back and watch it. So, on the 4 hour, see what's going. Oh, look at that. We're approaching up here now. You know, like, it's hard to tell because they have a very similar angle, but this one seems a little steeper than the stochastic. So it can almost be nice if that stayed steep, that stayed like that, and we came back together. You know, definitely having some curve to the upside. You know, real nice when that happens, when the VWAP gets rejected before getting to that zero line and you just stay in the green. So the big question is, will it continue? And we got our nice little apple bottom going on right there. Getting close to coming back up. You know, potentially coming back together. You know, we were split on the downside move. And it does look as though we are starting to come back together at least. But that's probably one of the biggest things that I want to see. See these getting closer together. You know, see that money flow coming up into the green. VWAP just heading for the hills up there. So we'll see here. This last one back here, you know, peaked a little bit higher. What was that, like 22? Right now we're at about 19. So there's still room. You know, 12, 13, 14, 15. Didn't even get into the 17s and 18s and 19s yet. So one can hope. But yeah, overall, I mean, you know, it's one of those situations where you see it pumping, and no matter what, in your brain, you're sitting there thinking like, damn, am I too late? Should I try to get in on it? Am I just FOMOing in at this point? Or does it have some sustaining power? And so I might come down to these lower. Man, look at that money flow. Look at that 60. Hit the 60. That is very nice. That's actually kind of interesting too. Yeah, that is just, that's pretty. We haven't been seeing big green like that in a while. And RSI still generally heading up. We'll see if we can hang out up here for a little while, or if we're going to peak out and start coming back. Look at that. Even the momentum wave broke the 100. 107. She was a pumping. Now this is interesting. Actually had bearish divergence going on right there. Did not equate to much. You know, we started coming back down, but even this on the bottoms of it still going up. You know, I'll be curious if this was I mean, this was probably the biggest thing leading into a move like that I can see. I mean, the environment was right for it. You know, these are close together, heading to the upside. Money flow was just running for the hills. But I didn't honestly expect all that. I mean, what do we got just in this pump right here? Like 5%er. Not too shabby, not too shabby. You know, if you're 10x in, that would have been a 50 right there. How are we looking here? Still, you know, still generally strong. We're coming up into the positive numbers on the bear side here. We'll see what happens if we can get through this line right here. What is that? That's our arc, isn't it? Yep. Now, I don't normally go on these, but let's suck it in a little bit and see a little bit of bearish divergence there in the 2-minute. Caught the red diamond, but again, money flow still at the high point. Is this just going to be another sitting sideways action right there? VWAP already down. See if we can see if it pulls back around here. I'm gonna ditch this. And that's kind of interesting. Even had this guy trending up. But can we do it again? was watching it do the same damn thing last time. Except this one's actually, since it's on a low time frame, we're, you know, swinging above and below. We got a 16 with a red candle. First red candle in a while. You know, this little bearish divergence might give us a healthy little small correction or consolidation. Let's jump over. Let's see how ETH's doing. How's Ethereum looking? That's interesting. So it looks like Ethereum. Oh, that's okay. ETH versus Bitcoin. Didn't realize I clicked that, but it's interesting. So ETH is definitely falling versus Bitcoin, but we're getting some bullish divergence, possibly rounding out down here, kind of reaching the bottom on the RSI. What does that mean, you might ask? That means that potentially ETH will, you know, increase versus Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit, maybe you know, maybe ETH doesn't pull back so hard, or maybe Bitcoin pulls back harder. But keep in mind, you know, ETH movements are larger percentages compared to Bitcoin movements. But man, look, even on the side over here with its, you know, funky ass percentages that it comes up with. I mean, Bitcoin's sitting over here in we got the 6.7s. Meanwhile, ETH a little below 5. Let's see anybody doing anything. Solana in the 7. Oh, look at that. Damn, that's pretty. Just this last leg, solid 5%. Okay. My bad if that blinked for a second. I don't know what that was about. Just make sure stuff's on. Yeah, it's still on. Okay. Let's pop up to a half hour here. What's Solana got going? What was this whole move? 8.5. Not too shabby. Did it finally do anything? Holy cow, it finally did something. Looks like it's pulling back a little quicker though, maybe. 6%er. Polka. Again, man, look at Polka. Man, I'm sleeping on this one. I should have been doing this all day. Damn near 10%. Look at that nice trend right there. You can just see it going up. RSI, you know, not super choppy, not super volatile. I mean, obviously you still have, you know, moves in here, and this is a half-hour chart, but generally speaking, that was nice. Interesting on the money flow right there. You know, this little pullback had significant little valley. You know, money flow looking kind of jacked up, to be honest, but you know, I had a big pullback in there. Another big one there. A little choppier right in there, but big move just off of this little money flow move. We got almost 7. RSI's coming together. Let's see. I know Phantom was getting jacked up the other day. Yeah, still over 8%. I mean, obviously it looks a little smaller, but Phantom's getting into that price range where, you know, all moves are big moves. Kind of fell apart right there, but looks like we might be coming back together. Let's check Yeshiba. Still, every single time, every time we come to this chart, it's playing around the bottom of that rectangle. What do we got? Not as big of a split from before, but still hanging out over top. Weak money flow, though. Like, look at the difference from that to ETH. You know, obviously more to Bitcoin. Yeah, you know, fairly similar to the ETH one. Let's see, anybody else moving it? Anybody else moving and shaking? Sandra D, not much. Yeah, Zcash been steady. It's right up there with Polkadot. Look at that. Money flow looking good. And you know what? That's what I want to see. I want to see people, even if you're just trading, show some love to the privacy coins. Because if things keep up the way they're going, that's kind of our future at this point. Monero. Man, look at Monero looking like a friggin' shit coin other than this, like, what was this anyways? Yeah. Had a 62% pump in a half hour. Interesting. And this is on Binance? Huh. I mean, yeah, generally it was looking like Zcash and Polkadot, but just decided to go up there and check on Elon Musk Tesla that he blasted off into space. Guess he forgot something in the glove box looking at that candle. Damn. It's a friggin' rocket ship. Uniswap getting a little bit bigger number. Meh. I mean, it looks the same, but near. That was a solid one. Like a 10%er. Yeah, get close to coming back down here. Been seeing a lot of advertisements for Near lately, especially in the Brave browser. But all right. Let's come back to Big Papa's house here. Looks like we may push through. Yeah. Underneath here on the VWAP, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They're getting them big money flows. And the difference is like, you know, okay, and this is Heikenhashi candles, to be clear. I bet you if we pull over here, yeah, it's a red candle. And you can kind of tell when this guy's lower than that guy. Or you see a red diamond right there, even though the wick's a wee bit higher. Turning to 11. Yeah, we may get a bounce off of that after all. Starting around the top on the money flow a little bit. Let's see if we break through our... Actually, that's not even from this time frame, so... Irrelevant. See the 4-minute. Really? That's interesting. You know, not even enough to turn the Heikenhashi's red yet. Just little pullbacks. You know, I remember too, especially back when there was more volume in the crypto space here, and we would get these things where it would just zigzag up, and that was its, you know, that was its little negative oscillation. Zigzag up and then go pump again, and then kind of zigzag up or sideways-ish, and then go pump again. That was like serious bullish pressure behavior. You know, when you're seeing like this is your pit stop right there, you're like hardly anything. There we go. You know, just zigzagging up. God, it's been so long since I spent a lot of time on normal candles. I don't like it. It looks so chaotic. Like, now that I'm used to Heikenhashi, I mean, normal candles have their place, especially like on the exchange page when I'm trading. I leave it on normal candles. But it took like mental training to ignore, you know, all the little back and forth moves. So I'll mainly watch it over here. And then if over here I'm starting to see, you know, like, okay, it might be time to cut, it might be time to take profits, then I'll look over on the exchange page and, you know, kind of split hairs over there a little bit. But I generally try to make my decisions over here, especially with market Cipher. And, you know, and yeah, you know, if you were trying to hit precise exact top and you're with the Heikenashis here, yeah, I mean, you may miss exact top because you're going to catch it a little bit late that it's, you know, pulling back the other way. So it's a trade-off. You know, do you like to have this, you know, nice, simplified, straight green trend, or, you know, straight red in the other case? Or do you not mind the, you know, the constant back and forth here with the candles? Or, I mean, obviously, you know, you watch these long enough, especially when trading, and I mean, you got to learn to expect, you know, the oscillations, expect the zigzagging back and forth. But especially for beginners, it can get a little disorienting, if you will. It'll that's one of the main reasons it'll get you flopping and groping, because you're watching and you get one red candle, then two red candles, and oh my gosh, it's turning on me. Then you're getting ready to try to jump out of it. Then as soon as you jump out of it, you get back to green candles. I'm sure everybody watching this has experienced that before. Everybody's flopped and groped at some point. The trick is to learn your lesson, gain that experience, and just keep calm, soldier on. But anyway, all right, so now that we're chilling for a second here, I was watching this earlier, which is on Mark Moss's channel. Guy's kind of a, almost like a financial coach type thing. Does really informative videos, you know, does a great job, as is a, you know, nice big touch screen that he's got back there, and pulling up articles and underlining and highlighting and all that stuff. And today's video, custody of your own assets is the next battleground. And just like I've been talking about lately with these, you know, governments and everybody coming after people's crypto, or at least trying to find a way to come after people's crypto. You know, they're trying to come at wallet companies, exchanges, you know, even into, you know, some of the DeFi and things like that, custodians. Oh shit, look at that. We just had a jump. Man, are we busting through that one again? Are we gonna punch? Got a new high. I hate watching on these tiny time frames though. What's going on over here? Yeah, VWAP crossing down. RSI still kind of pointing up. Get to a 9 on the top side. All the way down to a 3 down here. And we're still putting in highs. I'm thinking at this point, you know, DBSI just getting weaker and weaker as we go here. At this point, I'm cautious about trying to go in any further. But I mean, it's super strong, even down here on the 2-minute. Money flow, you know, VWAP coming up. Still kind of zigging and zagging, although we're not going as steep as we were back here and right here. What's up with what's ETH doing here? Didn't quite overtake that high yet, but oh, we might be doing it right now. Might be starting a new peak up here. 17, nice little bullish number. It's feeling hot, hot, hot. All right, all right. Blow the dust off this 1 minute chart here a little bit. A little bit of sideways here. You know, definitely bearish divergence again, but is that something we can count on? I mean, it's a little bit more defined here on the 1 minute, and we're below the top peak on the money flow now. If we're starting to get our little 4 impulse waves, maybe we can expect, you know, pull down a little bit, one more, and then maybe potentially make the turn. But if we stay, you know, if we stay real high on the money flow, you know, there's potential that we just walk along that line right there, like Johnny Cash. I know I definitely want to keep an eye on a short potential, but let's see if that's even a thing. You know, when you get nice big pumps to the upside, you usually tend to have a pretty decent pull back, and that is definitely a big pump to the upside, especially for Bitcoin lately. Let's see. It's really the closest one we've had like that. And even then, it's very similar, actually. You know, we're just getting into the green on the money flow here. It's our first time on the positive side for the VWAP since going green in the money flow. Come back over here. Came up into the green. Now, granted, we just had this little bunny hill right there, but that's, you know, similar to that. But when we're coming up over here, we had this sharp one. And then we were below for a little bit, but it was still pumping. I mean, money flow was just going to the upside. It was, I'm bullish, can't tell me nothing kind of situation there. So there's definitely, there's a lot of strong signs that we could continue upward. You know, this guy's not really clipping just yet. A little bit less angle, but RSI's coming together. I mean, it could be a super pump bullish run kind of night. I mean, at that point, half tempted to start another trade, just like almost just in case. So I've got one going on one account, and I'm kind of getting that FOMO fever, getting the itches, whether I should start another one. So those higher time frames, man, it's got potential. It has got some potential. I'm surprised what we got. No crypto face video. Old boy's not jumping on this one. What do you guys think here? What would you do? Would you be jumping on this one, or are you gonna play wait and see? We got more time, you know, for this money flow coming up on the 4 hour, for the VWAP up here to the upside, the RSI's strong point to the upside, you know, momentum wave, just a jagged little spike. And we still got plenty of room to grow. I don't know. I don't think, you know, I think we may start rounding out the bunny hills again. We'll see. We got this triangle seemingly a little early, but, you know, hopefully a green dot and some yellow diamonds. I'll just keep on trucking. 8, 9, 10, flipping between 10 and 11. You know, once you start getting down here below the hourly, you know, we're pretty high on the momentum. Relatively high on the RSI, but that can hang out up there for a while, especially when you come up here to the hourly, still got room to the upside. You know, come over here to the multi-hour, ridiculous amount of room to the upside. 6 hour, tons of room. Momentum wave isn't even above zero yet. You know, money flow, what are we still down like -10. Still room, still time to go to the upside. You know, still only at 15. You know, we might have some, you know, smaller time frame, you know, a little pullback or something, but I'd almost like to see that. At least, you know, even if we just come sideways here a little bit of pullback or something, that way I could feel like I got in at a lower price. But at the same time, hey, my hesitation might be a dumbass move. But either way, we'll see. You know, it is a second trade, so that, and I'm making this video. I don't want to stop and go over on the other screen and sit there and leave you guys hanging just staring at this chart right here, although you're probably staring at it anyways. By the time you see this, it'll probably be like out here or up here. So I guess by the time you watch this, you'll know whether my decision was right or not. Getting up into 12 up here. Yeah, I expect to kind of play around on this line for a sec, maybe. But anyways, dude, go check out Mark Moss's video. I'll leave a link in the description. And he's absolutely right. You know, we need to, very, very first thing, if you are doing any investing or holding of crypto, you got to have your keys. You know, not your keys, not your crypto. If you're storing it on the exchange, just like we've seen, you know, what, today or yesterday, where Coinbase shut off 25,000 Russian customers. And their excuse, well, they were all, you know, potentially suspicious activity accounts. Bullshit. We all know people in the U.S. government were getting on their ass, like Elizabeth Warren, saying you need to, you know, freeze or ban their accounts, or we're not going to work with you. You know, we're going to make it hard on you. And they can't afford to do that. You know, they're the biggest exchange, particularly in the U.S., and the most used by US people. So, you know, they start throwing threats around And everybody knows, people in the government, they don't care. They start throwing threats around. It doesn't matter if what they're saying they're going to do to you might be illegal or immoral or, just bad business practice. They don't give a shit. They got a grudge against you, you're going to feel it. Now, I'm not defending Coinbase whatsoever at all. I thoroughly disagree with their decision to ban innocent people's accounts. If they were banning people that were legally sanctioned, oh shit, here we go. There's not much to say about it because, they say we got to follow the law. And if by law they're saying that, hey, these people are, sanctioned, supposed to freeze or halt their activity or whatever, they kind of have to do it. But to just blanket freeze everybody and ban people's, now you know what? I'm doing it. Yeah, here. Yeah, dude, you know what? I got a video coming up soon about the different exchanges, and I'm not 100% on what the deal is. Like, I may have to technically make the video and upload it from a different country because I don't know how YouTube feels about the whole legality of things and being in the US and, trading, particularly perpetuals. But we'll see. We'll see. But I at least want to show you guys. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 exchanges that I've got accounts on that you can use a certain kind of way, but you can use it for contracts, and some are a little better than others, but they're like 4 out of the top 5 for doing derivatives. So, oh shit, I think that was the word I can't say. I mean, for just looking at the charts. And oh, what'd they change over here? Multiple other methods supported. So what's Bybit doing? An update? Order by cost. Please enter your order cost in. Man, you can make the text bigger. Please enter your order cost inclusive of the initial margin and fees to open. Modifying the leverage will not change your order cost. That's interesting. Okay, so I can put in like how much USDT I want to use rather than just having to figure out like the ETH amount. I like that. Confirm. I want to do that. Let's see what that looks like. I'm not putting an order in right now, but I'm just curious. So say I did that. Or yeah, that's nice. I like that. Very good job, Bybit. Very good job. I like it when they add and update the exchange a little bit to make it easier. And I gotta say, that's one of those things where I went and looked at and played around with some of these decentralized exchanges, and there was like one who even had an interface like remotely close to what we would be used to on like Bybit, Femex, OKX, whatever. And all the rest of them looked more like the Coinbase mobile app. Like, not even Coinbase Pro, but like for placing orders and stuff. I'm like, dude, like, how do you expect, you call this a trading interface? Like, how do you expect people to trade with just like at this kindergarten level interface? I don't know. But I got another video coming on those too. We're looking at decentralized exchanges. I haven't got around to looking at, I don't know, more than like a little handful of them. And particularly what I want to focus on with that is like decentralized exchanges that can be used for trading. Because let's face it, I mean, at some point, they're going to crack the whip down on exchanges, and it's going to make life miserable. And everybody who's been trading, everybody who loves trading, I mean, that's their thing. That's their bread and butter, especially the people that are making their living doing that. It's going to be ugly. And I will say, though, there is a decentralized, perpetual contracts exchange that is in the works. It exists. Like, you can go there and they have like a beta going. And so you can get on there and kind of play with it a little bit. Now it's still fairly early. I would absolutely want some more features than what they have. But from a conceptual perspective, I very much applaud them, because that's where the future has to go. Because, if they start going crazy on exchanges and, telling people from certain countries you can't even use it, saying you absolutely have to do, 6 different levels of KYC and all this stuff. At a certain point, people are going to do it. They're going to do what the heck they have to do. And, if we get to that point of regulation and things stabilize, and they don't basically try to, what's the word, like regulate and price out, smaller accounts, then it may be okay. But for the time being, they're just whipping the hammer around too indiscriminately. They're just coming after people like Canada with, oh my gosh, you go to a peaceful protest literally for basic rights and freedoms, and they're going to try to ruin your life, try to throw you in jail, freeze your bank account, keep you from being able to buy food with your own money. So just keep in mind, if the money's in the bank, it's not your money. There's a piece of paper or some pixels on a screen that says it's yours. But basically what it's saying is that the bank owes you X amount of dollars. And if for whatever reason they say, hey, guess what? No, you're the bad guy. No, we don't owe you shit. What are you going to do about it? But at the end of the day, remember brave King Leonidas and his bold 300 as they stood against the unyielding tide of the Persian hordes. No matter how big the other side seems, how powerful they seem, the fact of the matter is a bunch of freedom-loving motherfuckers who got into crypto because they don't like the centralized banking system. And they're trying to take that away now. Stand strong, we'll find a way. Whether it's through new innovation, because, if they really start clamping down, it's going to force people into a corner. People are going to develop new stuff, even if it has to be an entirely new market. The cat's out of the box now. Crypto exists. People know about it. The people who love it, love it for whatever reasons they love it for. And a lot of them, is because of decentralization, privacy, you know, financial freedom, being your own bank. And if they try to take that away, it's going to get created somewhere else. And it's going to suck. You know, that transition would absolutely suck. But we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, it's out of our control. So if you see politicians that are, whoops, my bad. If you see politicians that are helping support crypto, are helping stand up for the little guy, for the little crypto users' rights, by all means, give them a pat on the back, give them an attaboy or girl, tell them you appreciate it. Please stand strong, you know, because there might be a couple tiny little lobbies, but for the most part, you know, the big crypto cartels, they're going to find a way to work with whatever the government's telling them to do. But the rest of us retail users are just a ship on the stormy seas, getting blown about whichever way they decide to start blowing hot air out of their mouth. So stand strong. Remember, apes stronger together. And real quick, it's the end of the video. I should have said this at the beginning. I'm going to bring it up in another video, but I just wanted to watch the price pump in there. There's a bill by a congressman from Ohio. Hey, shout out to the home state. But he has a bill right now going through to protect people's crypto holding, to protect their right to have custody of their own private keys. So big shout out to him. I think his name is Davidson or something like that. I'll probably do a video though just on that and this subject. Remember, stop by Mark Moss. Dude's awesome. Watch the video, show him some love, tell him I sent you. Tell him I sent you. Be gone till November. Get a couple girls, get a bra, have a sent up. Hey. All right, I'm trying not to like disjointedly singing that song and the other half of it in my head. Okay. Yeah, looks like we're rolling a little bit, so we'll see how she goes. Now still holding strong. All right, everybody. Love y'all. Hey, thank you for 100 subs. I think we're up to 3,000. 3,300 views. Awesome. So I very much appreciate it. Keep stopping back. Keep talking in the comments. Let me know what's up. Let me know you know, what you want to see. If I'm doing something you don't like, you know, if something sucks, if it's ugly, if I'm rambling, if I sound like a jackass, by all means let me know. I'm not a little snowflake. I like constructive criticism. I would rather get better at it. I'm not gonna get butt hurt and start bitching at you. So holler at your boy. And remember, stay free, stay frosty, and remember, this we have chosen. And it's what we have and will be paying for. And it's the only thing worth paying for. Because if you don't got freedom, what the hell? You're just a slave and you don't even control your own life. So come on. Have a good one.